Hello everyone, I'm Smriti Bhatia Malhotra. Welcome to my phenomenal channel. Today we are going to talk about interest rate swaps. So interest rate swaps are basically forward contracts in which one stream of future interest rate payments is exchanged for another based on a specified principal amount. The interest rate swap usually involves exchange for fixed interest rate in exchange for floating, or floating interest rate in exchange for a fixed rate. So this is basically done to reduce or increase exposure to interest rate fluctuations. Like we all know, interest rates fluctuate due to many factors affecting the market. It can be the monetary policy, it can be the FIIs, it can be anything from any corner of the world. So this this interest rate swap instrument basically helps usually the big financial institution to hedge their risk, or to manage risk, or to speculate on interest rate fluctuations. In an interest rate swap, it is the fixed exchange rate which is exchanged for a benchmark rate, that is LIBOR plus minus a spread. The spread is basically based on the parties involved, the credit risk of the party involved, the ability to pay, and a number of factors. So without any further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's dig deeper into our topic of interest rate swaps. So we will proceed by going through an example to know better about interest rate swaps and its functioning of cash flows. So yeah, so let us take company A and company B. So company A basically takes a loan from lender A of $10 million in exchange for interest rate payments. Company A provides variable interest rate payments on the basis of LIBOR, that is the London Interbank Offer Rate, plus 100 basis points, that is basically 1%. So LIBOR plus 100 bips. So this is a variable interest rate with market fluctuations, and thus the fluctuations of interest rates, the LIBOR will also fluctuate accordingly. On the other hand, company B here, it takes a loan from lender B of $10 million again at a rate of 10%, which is a fixed interest rate, leading to fixed interest payments. Now, so basically these instruments, these derivative instruments, and all this hedging is done based on the future expectations of a company or an institution. So now the future expectation of company A here is that interest rates will rise. When the interest rates rise, the LIBOR also increases, and thus the future payments it owes to the bank increases with it. This will lead to higher interest payments on the loan. So, to hedge this risk of interest rates increasing, the company A would want to enter into a swap, effectively pay fixed interest rate so that its cash flows are not affected by the increase in interest rates. On the other hand, the future expectation of company B is that the interest rates will fall. So if the interest rates fall, the company B is relatively paying higher interest payments on the loan because the market interest rates have decreased, but company B is still paying a fixed rate of 10% here. So in order to hedge this risk, to reduce this risk, company B enters into a swap, effectively pay variable interest rates so that it is paying lower interest rates. How will this happen? Let's take a look on the second slide. One point I would want to make here is that you will see that company A is like expecting the interest rates to increase. On the other hand, company B is expecting to interest rates to fall. But only one, either the interest rates can increase or fall. Let me tell you that this is just their future expectation based on their financial analysis, based on their fundamental analysis, quantitative analysis, or a combination of both, whatever they are doing. So they have different future expectations. The future expectations can vary among different institutions based on their method of coming to that expectations. So these two companies have different expectations. Now, to reduce their risk, company A and company B having different viewpoints and different expectations, opposite expectations of the future, they enter into a swap in which company A promises to pay company B a rate of 9% on the swap, and company B promises to pay company A a rate of LIBOR plus 50 bips, that is 50 basis point, that is 0.5%. Okay. The notional amount they prepare on the swap is of $10 million. The tenure is 4 years here. So they have their future expectation maybe for the period of 4 years. So they have entered into a swap for 4 years. Now, let me explain. What has happened here is that here, company A is paying a variable rate, okay, and it is expecting the rates to increase in future. So in order to decrease the interest rate payments, what it would do is that it would enter into a swap in which effectively it is paying a fixed rate of interest because it wants to pay a fixed rate of interest. Okay? And to hedge these payments, what it will do, it will enter into a swap where it is receiving amount every month or quarter or year in which it is receiving an amount which is almost equivalent to the interest payments it is making on the loan, so that this is not a concern for it anymore. Okay, so what it does is enter into a swap with company B in which it pays 9% and it receives LIBOR here, LIBOR there, plus 50 bips. So there is a difference of 50 bips between the two of them, which is not too much looking at the scenario here. So what it will do is that when it receives these payments from company A, partially this payment offsets this payment, which reduces the burden of this payment, and it is eventually paying only this 9% to company B, which is the fixed rate. Okay, so it actually eventually enters into a swap in which it is effectively paying a fixed interest rate because this variable payment is offset with this variable payment. Here, let me show you. So LIBOR offsets LIBOR. So effectively it is paying 100 minus 50, that is 50 bips on $10 million. Looking at company B now. Company B. Company B is paying 10%, okay, and it is expecting the interest rates to fall. So it will very much be inclined to paying LIBOR or any such rate that is related to that fluctuates with market, because it will also fall, and thus it will end up paying lower interest rate. So what it does is it enters into a swap with company A, in which it receives 9%, which partially offsets this payment of 10%, and it pays variable interest rate of LIBOR plus 50 bps to company A. So it is basically paying LIBOR plus 10 minus 9, that is 1%. So LIBOR plus 100 bps. Got it? Cool. So company A has become the fixed payer and variable receiver. Fixed payer and variable receiver. And company B has become fixed receiver and variable pair. Fixed receiver and variable pair. So in the technical language, we would say that company A has entered into a pair swap and company B has entered into a receiver swap. So whatever goes with the fixed side of the swap is the swap type. That is, this is the pair swap because it is paying fixed, and this is the receiver swap because it is receiving fixed. All right. Let us talk about the notional now. So notional is basically the amount based on which the interest payments take place. So the notional of 10 million will not really get exchanged between company A and company B in the swap. It is the interest rate that will get exchanged between the swap parties. So notional is based, so what 9% of what? 9% of the notional of 10 million and LIBOR plus 50 bps of 10 million. The cash flows of company A will be counted as LIBOR minus 9%. Okay, so the net of will be the amount. Okay, the party either gives or receives. It is not the physical payment of the whole thing that is taking place. It is very simple that only the net amount will take place. Why is the eraser not erased? So yeah. So what happens here? Company A receives LIBOR plus 50 into 10 million minus 9% of 10 million. Okay, so whichever is higher, if the LIBOR, the receiver, the received payment is higher than the paid one, then it is net receiving and it is net paying. Only one of the two takes place. Okay, not the whole transaction. It is the net amount of the swap that exchanges. Okay, so now let us get into the cash flow working of this whole swap. How will the cash flows take place in the tenure of 4 years mentioned here? Here we are. So here, this is the diagram, this is the timeline I've drawn of company A. This is the timeline of company B. So they have entered into a swap of company A paying company B a fixed rate of 9% and company B paying company A a fixed rate of a variable rate of LIBOR plus 50 bps. So let me zoom in here. Sorry. So in year one, company A is paying in year one, the LIBOR is set at 7%. Okay, this is the real, like the real scenario here. Okay, so LIBOR is set at 7% in the first year of the swap. In the first year, what all company A's cash outflows will be is mentioned here. So what all cash outflows is it, like, are they due for companies? It has to pay the bank. Either it will receive or pay in the swap. Okay. So in year one, there is LIBOR 7%. Company A will pay the bank an amount of 7 plus 1%, 8%. The lender A will be paid an amount of $800. 8%, 10 million, $800. $800,000, sorry. Then with company B, with the company B, the swap party, what happens here is that, so LIBOR plus 50 bips, which is 7.5% company A receives and 9% company A has to pay. So when, so effectively what is exchanging hand is 9 minus 7.5, which is 1.5. Yeah, 1.5. So company A has to pay company B an amount of 1.5 because 9% is higher than 7.5%. So 1.5% into 10 million is $150,000. So effectively, what company A is paying, and the outflows, the total cash outflow for company A is a net payment of $950,000. Okay. Coming to year two. Year two, the interest rates have increased further. It has gone up to 8%. The LIBOR is 8%. The company A pays the bank 8 plus 1, which is $900,000. And here 8 plus 50 bips, 8.5 and 9%. So pay 9%, receive 8.5. So net pay 0.5. So 0.5 into 10 million is $50,000. So net payment of company in year two is 900 plus 50, again $950,000, same as year one. If you look here, in year three, the rates have gone further up to 10%. So the company A pays the bank an amount of 10 plus 1, 11%, $1,100,000, 11% into 10 million. And in the swap, 11.5, 11 plus 50 was 11.5 is received and 9% is paid. So net 11.5 minus 9, 1.5% is received. So in year three, company A receives from B an amount of $150,000. So what is the net cash outflow for company A? Is $1,100,000 minus $150,000, which results in a net payment of again $950,000. Okay, same as year one and year two. Likewise, for year four, the company A is again paying a net payment of $950,000. So here, if we have a look, you can see that company A is actually ended up paying a fixed payment, fixed interest rate of $950,000 each year, whatever the interest rate is, right? Now, we don't stop here. We have a look at this one, company B also. Here it is, company B. here. Yeah. So lender B pays company A an amount of $10 million, and company B pays lender B an interest of 10% in exchange. Okay. So the LIBOR I have set for the two companies the same because the future result is the same no matter their expectations. So unfortunately for company B, the interest rates have risen. So the hedge might be a bad step for company. So year one, company B pays the bank an interest rate of 10% on 10 million, which is 1 million. It so LIBOR was 7%. So here we saw that company B was received, like company A was paying company B $150,000. So here company B receives from company A $150,000, and the net cash outflow for company B is that of 1 million minus 150, so $850,000. In year two, the LIBOR increases to 8%. So company B again pays the lender $1 million, which is a fixed, and receives from company A $50,000. Like we mentioned here, pay B $50,000. Okay, so receives $50,000. So the net payment, net cash outflow for company B is 1 million minus 50, $950,000. Now in year three, when the LIBOR has further increased to 10%, company B pays the bank 1 million. 1 million is 10% of 10 million. And it has to pay company A $150,000. Like we mentioned here, the $150,000 received from B. B pays A here $150,000. The net payment of company B, the net cash outflow for company B is $1,150,000. And likewise in year four, the payments have further increased because it has entered into a swap to eventually effectively pay variable interest rates. And with interest rates increasing in the market, the net cash outflows for company B have also increased, resulting in these heavy payments, increased payments of 850,000 in year one, 950,000 1,150,000 in year three, and 1,250,000 in year four. So with the interest rate increasing, the payments have also increased, which is the scenario of paying variable interest rates.